Welcome back to the Garden Club. I'm Natalie Spence, and I'm here with Stephanie Foster today in her backyard. She's designing a holiday arrangement for us today.
Well, welcome, Natalie. Thanks for coming over. I wanted to show you how you can make an inexpensive centerpiece for a table very simply with greens from your own backyard. And if you are missing one of the greens that you might want, like holly, you can either trade some of your greens with a neighbor or perhaps buy the one missing ingredient just to spruce up the arrangement. But people don't really think about, this is a blue atlas cedar and it's gorgeous. It's not big and showy. You never see this around in arrangements, but it makes a wonderful addition. So I'm going to trim this tree back. It's a form of pruning actually, so you don't have to worry about hurting the trees and bushes that you're cutting branches from. And that'll be a beautiful addition.
Wonderful.
Because of the color to what we're making today.
Let's go to your greenhouse and see.
Okay, let's go.
You.
Well, here we are in my greenhouse, and I want to tell you how to begin. It's a very simple thing to make an arrangement yourself. And you go out, you pick your greens, you gather them around, and hopefully you have a variety of color, from gold to green to blue, and then accents with red. Now, I have Fraser fir, which is very fragrant, and I like to put a little of that in, and all you do is stick it in. Now, I should mention that before you begin, the night before you make your arrangement, put a stick of oasis like this in a pail of water and soak it overnight so it'll be really, really wet and absorb all the water that it can. And then you cut it to size to whatever the size of the container is, and then you can begin. So that's very simple. You can get these at a florist or a craft shop. Now, pine cones, no need to buy these. They sell these everywhere, but we live on Cape Cod, the home of the pine cone and the home of the pine. So we have some white pine, which is also easy to work with and fragrant. And you just begin, and don't worry about how you're going to do things. There is no formula. You just begin, and the more material you use, the merrier it is, and it goes quickly. Now I'm going to add a little more gold to balance this out on this side. So we have a layer of green, and then we have the gold. And next, we want to put a little red in. And what I have is some Andromeda from the yard, but actually it's kind of pale pink, which would be nice if I were using bluer greens, such as the blue atlas cedar. But I'm not. I want to show red and make it a merry holly look. So I'm going to take some red paint, spray paint like this, and just give it a little squirt like that to brighten it up. There, no one will be any wiser when you put these in an arrangement, and it just will brighten up. You'll see how that brightens up the arrangement there. Now, it's a good idea when you're adding things to take off the bottom leaves so that it doesn't occupy too much space in the oasis. So that is something that isn't, in something like this, much of a problem. But when you're doing pine, sometimes the branches are kind of heavy like that, and they take up, you can see where that would take up a lot of room in the bottom of the arrangement. So you just trim it like that. Kind of shave it down. Shave the fur off. And then that's ready. Actually, this should be cut down like that too. So we'll put that right in the middle there. And now I think we're about ready to put in a few flowers, and then we'll fill out the rest of it with greens. So today we have some Gerber daisies, which are just a beautiful, beautiful color for the holiday season. And we'll put them right in the prime positions. And it's a good idea when you're working with flowers that are going to be, this is the focal point, to use them in groups of 3. And here I have this arrangement which is circular, so it can be viewed from all sides. And I'm going to put in sort of one in every third section here. And that's something to keep in mind, and that's a good rule of balance. Always odd numbers rather than even. And now some holly. Now only the female holly has the red berry. And if you have a female holly in your yard but don't have a male holly, you still won't have the red berry. You might notice that holly, unfortunately, bears the berries about halfway down the stem, not where we want them. We would like them really at the tip, but they're still pretty, and it just means you have to put a little more effort into showing where the berries are on the branch. Now what we need is a little white to brighten this up, and I have to say that white is one of the undervalued and underused colors. People are into their pinks in the summer and the blues and just somehow neglect white because it's so simple. So all you have to do is buy a few flowers, cut some greens, and have fun. This is what it's all about. And you can't go wrong. If you think something doesn't look right, just keep putting more things into it, because that makes it bigger and more beautiful. And also, when you're doing this, I mentioned making an arrangement for neighbors and for friends. If you have a friend who's in the hospital, you might consider, and I took one of these little cat food cans and put Oasis in it, soaked it, and all you have to do is bring it down to scale, pick smaller pieces of greens like that, and you can create a little mini arrangement like that. Now, how cute is that? And it's very sweet. It's like giving someone a card, only it's a living card, and they too will have it for the entire holiday season. These can also be used at the table when you have a big arrangement as a centerpiece. You can make these as individual arrangements for your guests and then give them to take home. It's a nice way to spend the holiday and be generous to your neighbors.